So today we'll be talking about elections, and now because now the entire the entire furor of elections has been going on now, so I think it's the right time to talk about it. And so now to discuss on elections, I have my friend and colleague over here, Kiran. Hey, hello, Kiran. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, Joshua. Johan.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so let's talk about elections this year. This election is, it is something that we need to talk about because this election is taking place from the 19th of April to the June 1st. That's around 43 days. And now if you actually include the counting of votes, which is on June 4th, that's 46 days. And now, if you actually include the date of the announcement of the polls, that if you include all of that, it's around 82 days. So that's 82 days of electoral process, right? That's a really long process. And this
Yes,
is the longest, I think this is the longest election that's held in India ever since,
yes,
19,
yes, yes.
1950, the first general election. That was the longest, I think, which went on for like 4 months or something. Ever since then, no
And
one has ever seen elections this long.
mm,
And so that's why I think not just they're more interesting. Besides India, there is elections happening in 63 other countries, and despite that, India is election is still the largest election of all. Still, the largest number of voters
yeah,
are there in
biggest
India of all. Yeah,
yeah, biggest democracy. Yeah,
biggest democracy there. Yeah. So, that's why. So, this is not an year of election. This is the election. This year can be
yeah, yeah.
labeled as the election year. So, that's why,
Correct, correct.
so that's why I think that now the election process already begun. So, I think it's the right time to talk about it. So,
Yeah,
Kiran, can you tell us, the most basic question, which is why should a citizen vote? Because every citizen feel like okay, I'm just one vote, and it doesn't matter, and they think it's just one thing, but that one small vote can make a big difference, which can you make them understand why the one small vote itself can make a big difference?
yeah. Johan, see, in the last state elections,
Yeah.
we saw that Soumya Reddy, she lost
Mm,
election. She lost the game by some 16 votes. And of
mm,
course, she has gone to the court of law, and that the process is going on. But 16 votes, can you believe
mm,
that? And
yeah.
that too after recounting, and all that. So
Mm,
every vote, every vote counts. There is nothing
de-
like my vote doesn't count. That concept is
Definitely.
very, very wrong.
Mm,
So every single vote, it counts, whether it is NATO vote or valid vote, whatever it is, it counts.
mm,
Well, here I like to mention the quote which Abraham Lincoln had quoted, saying that
mm,
government is of the people, by the people, for the people, and it shall be there for a long period.
definitely.
So here you should remember that it is for our own benefit, or if it is for our own sake, this
Mm,
process of election that is happening, not only in India, anywhere else in the world. So
mm,
it is for the benefit of people
mm,
this process of election is happening. So it is,
mm,
and also in our constitution, it is the right that is been given by the constitution, where every citizen can vote,
mm,
who is eligible to vote. Eligible, when I say eligible to vote, means of course he should be an Indian.
mm,
uh, he should be an Indian, he should not be barred from voting. And you know he should have a valid voter ID and all that. So if he has that, he has every right to vote.
mm,
You see that uh, you become an agent of change. So
mm,
nowadays we see that everybody blames the government or politicians, saying
mm.
that they don't work, they are corrupt,
Yeah.
that kind of things, and they don't have concern for people and all that. So it
Mm,
is because of you he or she is there. So this is the time you can become the agent of change.
yeah.
And so if you vote sensibly, you can change the people and you can bring the change in the system. So
Mm,
your vote counts. There is nothing
mm,
like if your age is 18 and more, you have
mm,
every right. to get registered as voter and you can vote.
Amazing, beautiful. And the next question, so also let's talk about this year election, especially because, like I mentioned, right, the election itself is taking place for 43 days. And 43 days, that's around seven phases of elections, that is. So in some places it's taking place, I think, just in one, I think it's just taking place for 1 day. In some places, in some states, it's taking place for 2 days, in some place states for 3 days, and there are some states where it's taking place on seven different phases, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. Full
yeah,
this thing. Yeah.
so can you tell what's exactly the reason that this year elections is taking place for 43 days, to the point that they want seven, different seven different phases are there, and what exactly is the, the entire election, the voting process, that, seven phases is required this year?
Yeah, Johan. See, when the election commission announced the states,
Hmm.
this was the same question that was been asked.
Hmm.
So they said the official reason for this is that it is for the security purpose. I mean, moving the security forces from one place to another. So they
Hmm.
need time, and they need time for that. And also, it is like a basic requirement of conducting the election in a safe mode. Like there should not be any violence, there should not be any malpractice or something like that. So for that reason, basically for the security and the safe conduct of the election, they need a such a long duration for this election. That is the official reason that has been stated by the election commission. But this may be an advantage or requirement. But I could like to mention that the disadvantage of this having such a long phase of conducting elections in India. Like
Hmm.
for example, the main thing is that it increases the cost. Cost.
Hmm.
See, all the elections, whatever it is, one assembly election or the whole country election, it costs us. The
Yeah.
voter, I mean, the citizen tax money has to be spent for this. So
Hmm.
the more the duration, the more the cost.
Hmm.
So because you have to hire the security forces, you
Hmm.
have to hire the government officials for conducting the elections. So
Hmm.
and you have to have strong rooms to store the ballot box and all that. So
Yeah.
for all this, you need money. Money
Yeah.
doesn't come simply. So it's
Yeah.
a taxpayer's money you have to spend. The other mode of this thing, other disadvantage is that from the date of announcement of the election dates, the model code of conduct comes into effect.
Hmm.
So basically, the model code of conduct is nothing but it's like an SOP
Hmm.
for all the parties and the people who were involved in that,
Hmm.
stating that you should do things like this, and you should not do these things. You should do
Hmm.
these things. It's something like SOP for those people during this
Hmm.
period. All these 82 days, what they have to do. So one of it's good. Okay, you have the SOP for doing the things, that is good. But
Hmm.
what happens is that one of the main thing is that no new developmental works can be carried out.
Hmm.
The things that was been sanctioned, or where the work orders has been given, or where the work has been taken up, that can be carried out, but no extra or no new works cannot be taken up. And
Hmm.
also there cannot be new schemes introduced, or new any welfare schemes can be given to the people, or this kind of things will be there, so which
Hmm.
affects the very people for who these elections are being conducted. I said previously that it is for the people, of the people, by the people.
Yeah.
So for that people, so this will become an like an hindrance, or
Hmm.
it is affecting them, where you can't have the developmental work which is for them. That is not
Hmm.
going to happen. So
Yeah.
this I can say.
O- Okay. So another thing, I think people
Yeah,
also.
yeah. And one more, one, yeah, one more. Yeah, you were saying
Yeah,
something.
yeah. You can continue. Yeah.
Yeah, one more part of the this thing that you asked is what is the process of
Yeah,
the election. So
yeah.
it involves some 4 5 steps or 4 5 things in the election process. The first thing is that notification of the dates.
Mm,
Notification of the date that when the nomination can be done, when the
mm,
nomination can be withdrawn, voting date, counting date, all those. So that is the first step of the of this election process. So then
mm,
next comes the no, last date, fixing the last date for the nomination. So
mm,
all these candidates, they have to file the nomination
mm,
with the B form issued by the parties to contest. So
mm,
then that nomination date has to be announced, and the next step is that scrutiny of this nomination.
mm,
So what the nomination contains a lot of papers.
yeah.
It has a set of papers. So
Mm,
the officials, they have to verify whether the documents are proper in all the respect. So that they
mm,
have to verify and then
okay.
say that it is okay. So
Mm,
for that they need time. So that is called scrutiny of nomination. Then
mm,
comes the last day for the withdrawal of the nomination. So
mm,
this is the last step for nomination thing. Why? Because after scrutiny, even one or two candidates nomination is rejected, still some people will be there.
mm,
So they have a chance to withdraw from the field. So they have that option is there for them. So for that also, the election commission gives a date saying that this is the last day which you can withdraw your nomination.
mm,
So that will be called as last date for return of the nomination. Then comes the date of poll, which is very very important for the candidates and also for the voters to note that this is the day we have to vote. That is for voters, and this
mm,
is the day for the candidates to see that all his or her supporters come and vote to the booth. Then comes date of counting of the votes and the results day. So and then the this elected MPs or legislators, they are
mm,
given the certificate by the district collector or the electoral officer stating that you have been elected. So
mm.
this is the main steps that has been involved in this in the election process, in any election process, general election process.
Mm. Okay, so you already mentioned like so what are the like important dates that people should remember, and these include all the way from like registration deadlines and to the voting dates and to even the counting of the votes, because I think these as much as people as you can't after voting and going you just most of the time I think people just want to know which day, what is the day they're going for voting to go and vote.
Yeah,
Besides that, they don't
yeah,
want to know the other dates, right? So, can you just tell what are the other important dates that people should remember for the elections?
yeah. From the voter point of view, I think the nomination date becomes important. Why?
Hmm,
If you ask me why, see, to vote, the voter's name has to exist in the voter list.
hmm,
So if the name is not there, even though you have the voter ID card, you can't go and vote. That is the rule. That is the law. So the law says that after the date of nomination, the voter list will be taken out. Okay.
hmm,
So you have to see that before the voter list is taken out by the election commission,
hmm.
your name exists in the list. If it is not existing, you still have the chance to register.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm,
So the date of nomination, that becomes very very important to note.
hmm,
But practically what I suggest is that you don't wait for the nth day. I suggest maybe 1 or 2 months before itself. It is better. because we normally know that during this period or during this month the elections will be announced. So I suggest that at least couple of months before you check whether your name exists in the voter list. Why?
mm,
Because even though uh, you can apply for the voter registration, there
mm,
is a process to grant you the right. I mean, to issue the voter ID to you. There is a process. The
mm,
main process is that one of the steps is that the electoral officer or the appointed authority, whoever it is, maybe it may be corporation people or municipal people or anybody. So
mm,
they have to visit the address and check whether you exist there. So it should not be a ghost name. So you
mm,
have to really exist at the particular address where you are given. So
mm,
that process takes time.
mm,
So
no,
if you assume that 27th, sorry, 20th March is the date for nomination. So if you apply on 19th, you just imagine that when the verification can take place,
mm,
definitely your name may not appear in the list of the voter or in the voter list. So it is better that at least some couple of months before you apply, so that
mm,
the verification, physical verification of your address may take place, and then your voter ID can be issued. So nowadays,
mm,
you need not wait for physical, voter ID to reach your address. You can just log in. You can download it after its approval, and
yeah,
you can just take that whatever the this thing voter ID printout is there, and you can go and in the this thing after the approval, it will be mentioned at which booth your name will be there. So you
mm,
can straight away go there and you can show the ID or the number, voter ID number, and then
mm,
vote there. So
mm,
I suggest that the date, nomination date, what is
mm,
there, that becomes important. And the next important date, I feel that it is the voting date.
yeah,
Definitely, as even you mentioned that the voting date is very important. So you have to make yourself available for voting,
yeah,
and also it is by law it is required that the companies or the employer has to declare holiday for on the voting day, so that all the voters or all the employees who are enlisted, they can go and vote. So this
mm,
is as per law.
okay. So, so great, great, great. You mentioned all the important dates also that people, it's not just the voting dates, right, that people should remember. It's also the other important dates. So it's good that
Yeah.
you mentioned all the important dates. So the other one is, what do you think are the misconceptions that people have about, elections and votings itself and all, in general that, some people have, people they don't end up voting also because of, having these misconceptions. So what would you like to mention what are the misconceptions and please clarify them as well?
Johan, see, it's simple. Like if you are an Indian citizen
Hmm.
and if you are over 18 and above age,
Hmm.
and if you are not debarred by law, like for
Hmm.
example, if you are declared bankruptcy or due to some criminal this thing, you have been debarred from voting. Yeah. So if these things are not there,
Hmm.
you have every right under our constitution to vote. But of
Yeah.
course, there is a requirement where you have to get registered as an voter. So
Yeah.
that requirement is there. If that requirement has been fulfilled, then you have every right to vote. But yes, there is some misconception or some people they think that uh, so you know I like to list out some of the misconception as you mentioned, where people have that thing and they don't go and vote, or
Yeah.
they are not aware of the facility that has been granted to them by
Hmm.
under law, which they are not aware and they don't utilize that one. The first one is that many people think that if I don't have a voter ID,
mm,
I can't go and vote.
mm,
That is what electoral's photo identity card. If they don't have, they think that I can't go and vote. That is very, very wrong. The most important thing is that your name should appear in the voter list. That is more
mm,
important than having an voter ID. Even if you have voter ID and if your your name is not in the voter list, then you can't vote. So the
mm,
important thing is that your name should appear in the voter list.
mm,
So then, how to prove that if the officials ask if they ask for the voter ID card, what I should do?
mm,
Nothing to
mm,
worry. You can show other ID cards which are issued by the government of any government, state government or central government.
mm,
Like for example, I'm mentioning few like PAN card, like driving license, like Aadhaar card, like
mm,
bank passbooks with your photo and all that. And
mm,
if you have passport, if you
mm,
have any health insurance smart card which is issued by the government, that is also
mm,
you can you can give. And also if you have the pension document with your photos, that also can be used as an
mm,
ID to vote.
mm,
That
mm,
is one of the thing. And if you have any this thing also, like official ID cards issued by our MP and our MLA, so that can also be used to vote.
mm,
So so we what I like to mention once again, say that important thing is that your name should be there in the list. That is more
mm,
important. So there are,
yeah,
so nowadays Aadhaar card, everybody has that.
mm,
Everybody has that. So and even the PAN card also, most of the people have it. So you
mm,
can use that. Go and vote. Only thing, your name has to be there in the list, and you can vote.
mm,
There is nothing like that. So then the other thing is that you should have read in the newspaper that after the announcement of the dates, police take few people as in preventive custody into a preventive custody, like
mm,
detaining them so that they don't cause any violence or any mob disturbance and all that.
mm,
Basically, they are antisocial elements. So you may ask that whether they don't have any authority to vote.
mm,
They definitely have. Until and unless if there is any conviction, they can vote.
mm,
They can
mm,
vote through uh, postal ballot. They can use the Polish postal ballot and they can vote.
mm, mm,
Then another thing is that main this thing is that NRI,
mm,
whether the non-resident Indians, whether they can vote or not.
mm,
So definitely they are just non-resident and non-resident Indians. They are not
mm,
foreigners to us. If any individual, if he has not given up the citizenship of India,
mm,
he can vote. So
mm,
if any person has gone out of country, maybe for employment or maybe for some family issue or some
mm,
whatever education, whatever the reason may be, still
mm,
he has the right to vote.
yeah,
Only thing, they have to get registered at the parliament or the wherever they are residing. They have to get registered as an NRI in the that should reflect in the voter list as an NRI. That
mm,
I think some form 6A, I believe, that is there.
mm,
They can get registered filling up the form. So after filling up the form, they can come and they can vote on the particular date. There is nothing to stop them. Even we have that one of the most I mean this benefit, the NRIs who are from Kerala, they
mm,
have utilized more to the extent of 97% during the last election, but still they can't vote through postal ballot and all that. This thing, it is not there. Facility is not there.
mm,
But that is under consideration. But still, that has not been become a law. But they
okay.
can come. They can. I mean, they can register. They can come and they can vote. Then
Mm,
another this thing is that a person can get registered as a voter in two or three places or constituencies.
mm,
Uh, that is not possible under
okay.
law. That is not possible. That is illegal, and it is punishable up to imprisonment to the extent of 1 year or
No,
fine or both.
no.
So that is illegal. You cannot
Mm,
get registered in two place or three place. You can get registered as an voter in only
mm,
one constituency, not more than one constituency. Then
no.
another thing which we say is that people who are homeless cannot vote because they don't
Mm,
have any uh, address to
yeah.
get registered. That is a misconception again we have. For example,
Mm,
gypsies, they
mm,
they will they don't settle at one place. They'll be
mm,
moving around, and even homeless people. So it's difficult for them to get registered with any permanent address or something like that. But legally, they can vote. They can get registered. But only thing, whatever the address they have given, they should be available whenever there is a physical verification. The thing is that
mm,
the idea, the requirement is that when you are saying that I am resigning or I will be available in this constituency, you should prove that you are there in this constituency when you are getting registered. So whenever
mm,
there is a physical verification for address or your availability, you should show up to the official who is doing that physical verification. So if that is done,
mm,
you can have your voter this thing. You can register the voter list
mm,
and you can vote. You can have
mm,
voter ID also. So there is nothing wrong. You can have that. Then
mm,
another thing is that uh, in India we
mm,
have migrating laborers from north to south, south to west and all that. So migrating laborers. So
mm,
the question is that what about them? Whether they can vote in some place wherever they are and all that. So and this was one of the major reason during the last election, that is 2019 election.
mm.
uh, Johan, excuse me, can I have water?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Mm,
2019,
mm,
this was one of the major reason for lower turnout of the voters. So but actually what the thing is that there is a proposal.
mm,
There is a proposal before the election commission to facilitate these people to
mm,
vote in the constituency where they have registered
mm,
from the place where they are staying. For
mm,
example, a person who has migrated from Bihar, but he is registered as an voter in Patna,
mm,
but he is staying in Bangalore. But
mm,
he can vote from Bangalore to a constituency in Patna. So
mm,
that for that there is law. Some changes has to be made. Then you have technology challenges also
mm,
to make this reality. But the election commission has proposed a system called multi-constituency remote electronic voting machine. By
okay.
in one voting machine, they say that some 72 different constituencies can be it will be displayed and you can vote. So
Mm,
that will be like an EVM only, just to understand. It will be like an EVM, but only
mm,
thing, the constituencies and all that, it will be of the constituency where you have registered as an voter. So that will be there, and there you from here itself you can put that one. So
mm,
that still it is not available as of today, but the process is there. Process has been started, and they are working on that. In short, they call it RVM.
mm,
So if that comes into reality, then I think the voter turnout it will increase manifoldly. We can
mm.
have much higher voter turnout. This thing, and there is service voters, like
Okay.
if you are in army, or if
Mm,
you are in some security force, and
mm,
you are being deployed somewhere else, far from your constituency or something like that, and
mm,
also you have government employees
mm,
where they are on contingency basis, or some temporarily they are being transferred. So for them also, uh, the postal ballot facility is available, which
mm,
they can use to vote, and they can do that one also. And also proxy voter option also, it is there. They call that proxy voter as an classified service voters. So
mm,
through them also they can cast their vote. So it is not that if you're far away uh, from your constituency, performing your duty, that
mm,
you are deprived of your voting right. So that is very, very wrong. You have this right, you can exercise it.
mm,
And all electors who are eligible,
mm,
but they are unable to visit the poll booth and vote. Like,
mm,
for example, health issues,
mm,
maybe one side paralytic, or a bedridden, or something like
mm,
this. And age factor, they are
mm,
unable to move around. So
mm,
for them, there is a provision where the uh, booth officer, he can go to the place where that voter is there, and they can cast a vote. So this facility also is there. That only thing, it has to be notified to the booth officials, and they can make the arrangement. And so people who are in railways, electric department, all these kind of people, where they are unable to vote on that particular day. So
mm,
this facility is there, where the
mm,
booth person, the booth official can go and take their vote and come.
mm,
So only thing, people have to be aware of this, and they have to utilize this
mm.
facility. So these are the
Okay.
uh, what to say, the general misconceptions people have, that if I don't have this, I
Mm,
can't vote. If I don't, if I'm not available, uh, I can't vote. So whatever is there, as I said,
yeah.
even if you are not there in the constituency, but if you are under the eligible category of voter, you
Mm,
can definitely vote through postal or proxy voting facility that is being given.
mm. Okay. So as we have come to the end of the live session, thank you so much, Kiran, for giving us all the elaborating us, all the way from why we should vote to the entire process to all the dates, and to all the misconceptions that you mentioned. These are some very great information that you shared with us, and I hope that people have learned and they have educated themselves a lot, after this live session. And thank
Thank
you so much again for being part of this live session. So thank you guys for being part of for being part of this for the Insta live session today. So if you guys ever want to get in touch with us and know us more, you can contact us at 6364 2524 and 64. Again, thank you so much guys for coming for being part of this Insta live. See you all next weekend. Thank you so much, guys.
thank you.
Okay. Okay. The last question was there, no? The no, yeah, I think yeah,